Dalton is known as the carpet capital of the world. This is a town that lives and breathes the carpet industry.
There are dozens of carpet mills located there. And at these carpet mills, there's a dyeing process where they put the color on the carpets. Well, when they do that, they also add chemicals. The PFAS was in these chemicals that provide stain resistance. So PFAS got into the water because when that washes off the carpets, it ended up going into the drains, to the local utility, and ultimately ending up in the river water.
For much of the past year, a consortium of journalists from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, the Charleston Post and Courier, and AL.com in Alabama, along with the Associated Press and Frontline, have been investigating the carpet industry's use of products that contained chemicals known as PFAS, even amid warnings of their accumulation in human blood and possible health effects.
We knew already that there was an environmental crisis unfolding in Northwest Georgia. The story of responsibility and who should be held accountable is basically a finger-pointing game between the chemical industry, the carpet industry, and others.
There's a couple things I want to check in here. First,
The team reviewed thousands of pages of documents and court depositions
I really appreciate you taking the time to meet with me.
and interviewed former regulators and industry insiders, as well as doctors, scientists,
Extract PFAS from the sample.
and people who have the kinds of illnesses that researchers have linked to PFAS
We
contamination.
think it's affecting your liver.
What took it to the next level for us and what drew our attention is that there were clear lines of accountability for this contamination and a clear need to really understand why things are the way they are up in Northwest Georgia.
The carpet industry has long insisted it's not to blame for PFAS getting into the environment, and argued that chemical companies obscured the risks and assured them that the products they were supplying were safe. But the recently reviewed records also show that executives from the two largest carpet companies, Shaw and Mohawk, were getting warnings about potential harms dating back decades. And with little regulation until recently, the team found that for years, both the companies and their suppliers were able to legally switch among stain-resistant products that contained different types of PFAS.
we can't do this story without industry's perspective.
You want to just update us on where we are with data?
Most of the testing up in Northwest Georgia is completed, but the rest of the state we still are looking at. Downstream of Dalton and into Alabama, we've estimated that there's approximately hundreds of thousands, 200,000+ people who get their drinking water from the surface waters that originate with the Conasauga River.
The carpet companies say they stopped using any kind of PFAS in U.S. production in 2019. But for years, the compounds ended up in the environment and take decades or more to break down. These so-called forever chemicals are routinely tested in the local drinking water at levels the EPA now considers unsafe. Today, there are lawsuits against both carpet and chemical companies, and uncertainty and feelings of betrayal are boiling across the region.
We pay for poison in our water.
Communities are worried about their drinking water, and local governments say the problem is too vast for them to fix alone.
It really is still a crisis that's not fully understood.